Alright, what is up guys, it's Zero here, and today I have for you my deck profile for Liberators, or more specifically I guess Bluish lanes, but honestly not really, because I'm not even playing the full set of 8 Legions. So this deck, I initially thought this deck would be a lot better than it was, but after playing with it I definitely feel a little underwhelmed with this. It's not bad by any means, it's definitely still a really good deck, but it definitely feels a little more underwhelming compared to the other top dogs of this set. But that aside, let's get onto the deck list and see what I'm playing with this deck. So, like I said earlier, I'm not playing the full 8 Legions because I don't think Core is that good a card. So yeah, this is the list. I will explain cards as I usually do. So yeah, first I'm playing the Wingle. So his skill is when boosting a Liberator Vanguard and he hits and that attack hits a Vanguard, you can CB1, search your deck for CB1, put it in the soul, search your deck for a Blaster Blade Liberator. I really wish they didn't nerf this thing. I really wish he was CB free like he was before, but what can you do? All your other starters suck. Because with this list in specific, I'm not trying to Turbo Legion because I'm not playing the 8 Legion build. I think the starter is fine. Otherwise, I would play a different starter in the Flower Gardener in the filter, but that is only for a build where I'd play 8 Legions. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, I guess I'll leave a list to a list like that in the comments below, I guess, if I remember. But if I don't, you can all like haggle me about it in the comments if you're interested in seeing that. So yeah, so this list is like the list where I'm not playing 8 Legions. There definitely is another list where you are playing 8 Legions, but I think this list is a little better. I've definitely found more success with this list than the 8 Legion list. So yeah. Next up, that's it for the starter. Next up, grade 1, the Liberator Mark PG. I don't think there's actually too many things that make you have to play this one, but he is a Liberator name, so I guess you can call it. Not that you want to do that, but I don't think the PG's honestly make that much big of a difference. So yeah, I just play this one with his Liberator name. Who knows? Maybe it makes a difference that he's a Liberator and you can actually call him, unlike the old Mark. So yeah. Next up for the other form is the Barkle. So his skill is when you boost a Blaster Blade Liberator, when you boost a Blast Blade and that attack hits a Vanguard, you can check top 3 cards of your deck and call any Liberator to any circle. So anywhere. You can even call Overheart if you want. So yeah, this card is... there have been a lot of lists floating around that I've seen where people just don't play Barkle anymore and they play like 4 Josephus here and this there. I've tried that myself. I think that is actually horrendously terrible. Josephus and Zoran are straight up bricks in your hand. If you draw them, they are 7k vanillas. Barkle is a free plus. Blaster Blade is easy enough to get to as well, so I think Barkle is really good. He can also cheat you extra attacks in ways that they don't intend you to, because Zenith exists. Zoran exists, kind of, but I'm only playing one, so that doesn't matter as much, and you can do really janky stuff with like Aglavale and stuff. It was like Aglavale and Star Rain, but where you call over something else and then you use the Star Rain or the Aglavale to call into an empty circle. But that actually ignore that. That doesn't work. It only works with Zenith. It doesn't work with Barkle. But yeah, Barkle can cheat you extra attacks with Zenith, basically. Because when you call the Zenith, I guess Zoran too. When you call the Zenith or Zoran, they come in as rest. You use your skill to put them either into soul or into deck to call something else. Zoran calls you whatever. Zenith calls you a Blaster Blade, a stand. Because it's no longer tied. Because that call is no longer tied to Barkle skill, so it comes to stand. So yeah. Again, that's definitely a way to cheat extra attacks, and he at worst is still just a +1 that you can save for the next turn, or put an intercept into the front row to eat a hit and to put a card in your drop zone for Legion if you need to. So yeah, I think this card has much higher value than plain Josephus, and I think Joseph is just straight up wrong. I definitely think Barkle is still a 4-up in this deck. So yeah. Next up is the Balin. So the Balin is the Dorant for this deck. When a Blaster Blade Liberator is calling in the same column as this card, on flip 1, countercharge 1. Oh yeah, your Vanguard has to be a Liberator too, but everything in this deck is a Liberator, right? So that does not make a difference at all whatsoever. This line text must not be here for the purpose of this deck. So yeah, use your countercharger. You kind of have to play him for. No, I don't think there's too much to say about this card. And then finally, the one of the Zoran. His skill is when called from deck, you can put him in the soul. Check out 3, call a Liberator card off those top 3. So the reason I don't think the one-off slot matters too much is, if you're doing play Josephus here, you can play Bruno, you can play Marin, but I think this card acting as like a pseudo 5th Zenith to make that stupid interaction with Barkle, I think is worth playing. This is the one over the Josephus, but It is just a 1-of, so it honestly doesn't matter. If you draw this card in your opening hand, you are riding it because he is a brick in your hand. You're going to ride it. So yeah, yeah, he's just a 1-of. I don't think it makes too much to play here. Next up for the grade 2s, 4 Blaster Blade Liberators. I don't think there's too much to say about this. He is the retire for the deck. He is the reason why the deck works because Zenith calls this fucker. Yeah, Zenith calls this fucker. That's the main important thing. Zenith calls this fucker. He is your main source to retire. He works with Sparkle. The Wingle searches him. The deck is just a different flavor of searching Blaster Blade and retiring now, basically. So yeah, yeah. You obviously do not play any less than this guy. He is like the heart and soul of this entire deck. So yeah. And then next up, the Starring Trumpeter. So her skill, you don't know what she does. Oh yeah, she also needs Blaster Blade. So wow, another card that needs a Blaster Blade. Yeah, definitely plays with that card. Yeah, Blaster Blade's a 4-up guaranteed because there are like a bajillion cards that look for Blaster Blade in this deck. So her skill is on play, put a Blaster Blade Liberator from your drop zone or soul back into the deck to call the top card of your deck into an open rearguard circle, and then she prioritizes putting a card from drop for the soul. So if you have 1 in drop and 1 in soul, you put the 1 from drop back in first. Let's see, you know, she's a free +1. That's all she. It's a free +1 gets a Blaster Blade back into your deck, which is pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, you play her because she is a literal free +1. You put a Blaster Blade back that didn't take a resource because not from your hand or from your board, and you just get a free card. Unfortunately, it's open rearguard circle only, but you really don't care. It's a free card on the board. If it's a trigger or a PG, you can put it back with a Garmor later, or you can call over it and Legion later. So yeah. Oops, I did not mean to do that. And then the 1-of slot is the S-Crad. I don't think, I'll go over his skill first. His skill is on hit to Vanguard if your Vanguard's a Liberator, which is not a condition in this deck. CV1, call top card of your deck. This slot can be anything you want it to be. I'm playing it because it makes my deck look shinier. But he also can help you cheat extra attacks, and he's still a cheap +1, so I do think he is like a fine 1-of. He is still a good enough card that I think is worth warranting the 1 slot to. If you don't play this, you can play like Fallon, the 12-bit attacker, but I actually think, besides just making my deck shinier, I think S-Crad actually does have value as the 1-of over a Fallon. So yeah. And then finally, the new card, the fuckboy himself, Aglavale. So his skill is rear circle on play. If your Vanguard is a Liberator, you can CV1, check top 3, and call any Liberator off the top 3 to an open rear circle. This card is like actually so fucking good. This card is amazing. CV1, check top 3, call anything you want off the top is actually busted. Amazing card. This is definitely the best inclusion this deck got. It is a yes, you can't cheat an extra attack like the S-Crad because it is a main phase call, but this card is still absolutely amazing. He's like a 1-card call, like double intercept most of the time, and then you can just swing, and like, see, this card is fantastic. This card is by far the best inclusion this deck got from this set. So yeah, definitely a 4-of. He's also the mate to your Legions, so that's another reason why you want to play 4 of it. I'm not playing any Soul Blast out in this deck to get them out of Soul, so that kind of sucks, but I don't have space for it anymore. Oh yeah, I guess the 1-of here could be a Silver Fang, which as well, the Soul Blast 2 draw card, but that card is not a Liberator name, and it is, and it unfortunately is, yeah, it's not Liberator. That's the main thing. It's not a Liberator name. But besides that, yeah, Aglavale, amazing card, absolutely amazing. You definitely play 4 of him. Even if you didn't play his Legion leaders, you'd still play 4 of him because he's just that good a card. Like if you didn't want to play the Legions for whatever reason, and you're still playing like 4 Gance Breakcry and like a Monarch Sanctuary Alfred here in this 1-of slot, like you still play the Aglavale. The Aglavale is just that good. So yeah, very, very good card. Onwards to the grade 3s. First off, I'll go over Zenith first, just because I do want to explain why I'm playing 4 Garmors over the actual set Legions. So yeah, Zenith, his skill is Limerick 4 on attack to Vanguard, CB1. Put a card from your, put a rearguard to the bottom of your deck to call the top card of your deck and give that card plus 10k. And his other skill is Rearguard Circle. When he is called from the deck, you can put him back into the deck to search your deck for a Blaster Blade Liberator and call it. If your deck is out of Blaster Blade Liberators, you can call it from drop instead. And break and cross ride to the Breaker against that, which we're not playing in this deck. So honestly speaking, unless the opponent's at 5, I basically never use the Vanguard skill because I just don't like it because it is like a high roll. It's like a really high rolling fourth attack. Obviously, if there are 5 trying to kill them, you will obviously go into kill them with it. But Another at 4, it just becomes a little too risky for me because if they don't die or they hit a defensive and your other links aren't scaling anymore because you're not playing the Breaker against a lot, and you don't call an intercept off the top, you could just get fucked and lose the game on the spot for it, which really, really sucks. So yeah. And the first skill is honestly just if they're at 5, I'll use it. If they're not at 5, I'll try to get some other way to cheat that extra damage in instead, like call like the Blaster Blade or something. Percival to Legion, try to call Blaster Blade. But yeah, obviously if you don't have those choices and you just need to end the game because you're going to die next turn, you will run into him as a finisher, but he is a very not good finisher in my opinion. Although I will say he does have some like cool interactions with Star Rain and Aglavale that I initially thought, that my Pepega brain thought that you could do with Barclove, but I remember that those cards need open rears. But you can't do with Zenith, is that, let's just say in a scenario where they're at 5, and you, let's say you cleared an intercept with a Blaster Blade and the other intercept is still there. Or you cleared both and you have like an 11k attacker in the front. So what you can do is you can go, let's just say you cleared one intercept with a Blaster Blade. You can go, intercept unboosted into the other intercept, solo attacker to Vanguard, and then, or like an 11k, like a grade 3 to the Vanguard unboosted, and then you can go Zenith, hit, use a skill, put the, in this you probably obviously put the grade 3 back. You put the grade 3 back, and if you check a Star Rain or a Aglavale, you can place the card over the other occupied circle, which in this case would be the Blaster Blade, to put that card as a stand. And then because Zenith cleared that other open circle for you, you can use Aglavale or Star Rain to cheat a 5th attack to try check for an extra PG. It doesn't come out too often because Zenith only check 1, which is complete RNG if you find that or not. But but when a situation like that does come up, that is just a straight up extra that you can get for with Star Rain for free with Aglavale for an extra counter blast, which I think is a play that you should absolutely know if you're playing this deck, is that Star Rain and Aglavale can cheat you a 5th attack in a situation like that. So yeah, when it comes up, you now know that is a play you can do, because if you call Aglavale or Star Rain to the open rear, since the other rear circle is still occupied by in that situation the Blaster Blade, you can't use their seal. So yeah. But the actual reason why you play this card is because this card can go back into the deck for Blaster Blade when you call it. So it's like having a 6th, 7th, 8th, or 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th copy of Blaster Blade in your deck when you're calling off the top, when you're calling from your deck and not from your hand. So yeah. Not as good as the Royal Paladin Gance because he doesn't go from hand to deck and only when you call him, but you still play it because the second skill is really, really good. So yeah. That's the Zenith. Next up, Garmor. So let me just get the water first. So the Garmor skill is Limerick 4, CV2. You call cards from the top of your deck to open rearguard circles until your board is full. This effect is basically just a panic button when you need a board, or if you need intercepts that you know in your hand and you want to try gamble for them. And his other skill is the reason why you do play him. I guess his third skill is an okay skill, but the main reason you play him is because for his protection skill. So this skill is on play, Vanguard or Circle Limit, so when you ride it, he gets the skill until the end of your opponent's turn. All your Liberator rears cannot be retired and cannot lose intercept. So Garmor in like a lot of meta matchups, which is basically the Paladins right now, Garmor just puts a straight up stop on the opponent for a turn, because unless they're going for, in case of Secrets, unless they're going for Thing Saver, or in case of Revengers, you already pushed them to going for Phantom Blast or Abyss. They can't retire stuff, so they can't push for extra damage like that. So yeah, Garmor is honestly one of the reasons why this deck is even good, because Garmor just is a stop button in a lot of relevant matchups. So yeah, very good card. I think this card is definitely worth playing over the core. His core is kind of awkward in Zero to begin with, and I don't think he's that good. And I don't think this deck absolutely needs the extra set of legions like something like Shadows do. Or yeah, so yeah, I think Garmor is very good. I've definitely tried this without 4 Garmors, but after going back to 4 Garmors, I think Garmor is absolutely the way for this deck. And then next up, the other Legion. The Legion we do play a set of is the Percival. So his Legion is with Aglavale, and his skill is on Legion, you check out 4 and call any Liberator from among them, any one Liberator from among them, and when attacking around plus 2k. Very simple, but very effective. You checked out 4, you call like an Aglavale for an extra card, you can call Star Rain for an extra card, you can call a Blast Blade to retire, and to work with Balance and Barcles. Just a very simple but effective card. Just a free +1, and it's pretty high quality +1 too, because you're usually calling it top. So, unless of course your top 4 is like trash, which can happen, but sucks to suck, I guess. But yeah. he is good. You play him because he's a Legion, he's a 3+1, and he's better than the other Legion. And the other Legion is the one of in this deck, which is the Prominence Core. So he also Legions with the Aglabill, and his skill is when you are in Legion and a card with the same name as a card on your Vanguard circle is called, he gets 3k and a crit. So when he's in Legion, your Vanguard circle is both Prominence Core and Aglabill. When a Aglabill or Prominence Core is called from the top of your deck, or called from your deck, he gets plus 3k and a crit. It's almost per turn, so you can't get him to 3 crit, but that's very high rolling because you gotta remember, when you are on this card, 2 of your targets are not in your deck anymore, being the 1 copy of the Core and the 1 copy of the Aglabill. So you have at most 3 Aglabills and at most 3 cores left in your deck to call for the crit. Also, if you're calling cores, you're taking a trigger out of your deck, which is not good. So this card just has a whole host of problems I don't think is worth playing at like a 4 of, in my opinion. Obviously this card is best played at 4 of, but I mainly play him because he's a Legion and his second skill is like usable. So yeah, but his second skill is once per turn, you can retire one of your Liberator rears to check top 4 and call any Liberator card from off those top 4. So you can trade a card in your like a dead trigger in hand, or like some booster you don't need on the board for a better card. So yeah, I think the second skill is honestly pretty good. I think this first skill is so gimmicky and just not good. I guess what you can also do some like really cheesy plays where you like clear an intercept and you hit with a lane with Blaster Blade Barkle to check top 3 and get a crit during the battle phase, but that's like a really desperate play you have to do. Yeah, like Core just isn't amazing in 0, so yeah, that's why I only play with a 1 of instead of as a 4 of. So yeah. Yeah, this is my Liberator list. Tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys as per usual. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.